Flora Ann Baxter was considerable on the borrow. She generally borrowed Clara Higgins' wooden leg to stomp around on. And it was considerable shorter than the other leg. Now, Mrs. Higgins, she was the coffin peddler's wife. Ratty old buzzard he was. He used to go roosting around where people were sick and wait on them. And then he would sit all day in the shade on a coffin that he judged would fit the candidate. Now, Flora Ann, she married a Hagedorn, old Maryland Eastern Shore blood. Ain't any better blood in the United States than them Hagedorn blood. Sally, little Sally. That Sally Hagedorn, you understand. She married a missionary, and they went off carrying the good news to the cannibals, way off on some far-off island out in the middle of the ocean, Summers. And, they ate her. Ate him, too. And they were dreadful sorry about it, and they said so. When the family sent down to fetch away their things, they said they were sorry. They said it was an accident. Said it shouldn't happen again. Accident. Now, that's foolishness for you. Well, there's no such thing as an accident. Why, there's nothing happens in this world than what's ordered just so by a higher and wiser power. And it's always for a good purpose. Well, now, you look at my Uncle Lem. Now, what do you say to that? Well, you just look at my Uncle Lem and then talk to me about accidents. Now, look here now, look. My Uncle Lem and his dog were downtown one day, and he was leaning up against a 7-story building, sick or drunk or something. And there was an Irishman with a hod of bricks long around the 4th story, and his foot slipped. And the next thing you know, down he comes, bricks and all, and hits a stranger fair and square, and knocks the ever-living aspirations right out of him. Now then, people said it was an accident. There was no accident about it. It was a special providence, ordered just so, and had a mysterious and noble purpose behind it. The idea was to save the Irishman. Well, if that stranger hadn't been there, the Irishman would have been killed. People said special providence show the dog was there. Why didn't the Irishman fall on the dog? Why weren't the dog appointed? Well, for a mighty good reason. The dog would have seen him a-coming. You can't depend on no dog to carry out a special providence. Listen, you couldn't hit a dog with an Irishman because... Well, what was that dog's name anyway? Jasper. And a mighty fine dog he was, too. He weren't no common dog. He weren't no mongrel. He was a composite. My Uncle Lem got him from the Wheelers. I reckon you've heard of the Wheelers. Old Ohio Western Reserve stock. Old man Wheeler, he worked in a carpet factory. And one day, Wheeler was dreaming and meditating around the carpet factory. The machinery made a snatch at him. Nipped him, you understand. And the next thing you know, old Wheeler was a-meandering all over the factory, going so fast where you couldn't even see him. You'd only hear him whiz when he went by. Well, Wheeler got wove up into 39 yards of the best 3-ply carpeting. The widow Wheeler was sorry. She was uncommonly sorry. And she did the best she could for him. Under the circumstances, which were unusual, she took the whole piece. $39. She wanted to buy a tunnel for him because she couldn't bear to roll him up. But there weren't any tunnels for sale. So she boxed him in a beautiful box and stood him on a pedestal on the hill. So it was a grave and monument together. You could see it forever. And she painted on it to the loving memory of 39 yards of the best 3-ply carpeting containing the mortal remains of Militon G. Wheeler. Go thou and do likewise. Well, at this point in his narrative, Jim Blaine always fell asleep. So we never did find out what happened to his grandfather and the old ram. I later found out that the first mention of the ram in his narrative was as far as anybody had heard him get. Whatever happened to his grandfather and the old ram remains a dark mystery to this very day.